Good to go?
Call a meeting to order of the Wright County Planning Commission for September 19th, 2024. First thing on the agenda tonight would be to handle the the minutes from the August 29th, 24. Has everybody been able to look through those? And if there's not any changes, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same way. Motion carries. First thing on the agenda tonight is Robin Reese. Anyone here for that? Want to come up and give your name? We'll get started. Anybody for Robin Reese?
Mr. Chairman, I'd recommend we hold this over to the end of the agenda.
Yep. I was going to recommend that. So second on the agenda tonight is Donovan DeMarais. Is Donovan here? We will rotate that.
Well, it's going to be really short if this keeps up.
Yeah, we will rotate that to the end of the meeting. Number 3, Richard Davis. I'm here. You want to give your name for the record?
Richard Davis, Monticello.
All right, Barry.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm not going to get too far into the specifics because we heard the rezoning, and I believe it was June. We did a 3-lot subdivision on this one last month. And then this is basically an amendment to that subdivision to adjust the line between what was approved as lots B and C of the original 3-lot subdivision. And so we have a new plan, which is on the left, which is parcels A and B. It basically splits the difference. So instead of lot B, which being 327 feet, lot C being over 500 feet, they split the difference to make them more or less equal in size.
Correct.
So this is just an amendment to that previously approved. It's a new subdivision, but it's essentially an amendment to that originally approved subdivision. So we did take a look at it with the wetlands delineation that was done, ensuring that there's enough room to access that southern parcel, which, as you can see there, there's 30 feet plus additional footage on that northern end, but that is basically the only area the driveway could go because the entire southern part of that lot is a wetland. But that was, when we went through this with the property owners and prospective buyer of this, we just ensure that there was enough room there for a driveway without impacting the wetlands.
Okay, thank you, Barry. Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
No, we also looked at the soil borings to make sure they were still correct, that moving that center line didn't affect them. So I thought we checked and made sure everything was correct.
Okay. All right, is there anyone from the public that would like to comment on this matter? Is there anyone from the public that would like to comment? If not, we'll bring it back up here. And does the board have any questions or concerns? It wasn't all that long ago that we went through this.
Yeah, it got into a real interesting situation. We had
Yep.
discussions with Richard when he applied for the original one, and we didn't know that this was wanted, and they had a time frame for that parcel A. So we just recommended they come back with the amendment after that got approved, so the family could deal with parcel A, and then he could then deal with these two for the prospective buyer as soon as that public hearing was completed. So we kind of worked out a time frame on this so it would work. It wasn't known at the time when they'd applied for the original one. In fact, it wasn't known until about a week before the approval of the first one. And then they quickly got stuff in right at the deadline for this meeting. So
Okay.
that's why it's kind of two pieces like this. It was all timing issues.
Okay.
I'd say it.
So is there any concerns? Are we ready for a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion to approve a conditional use permit for a 2-lot unplatted subdivision in accord with the survey completed by Bogart, Peterson and Associates, Inc., signed and dated June 19, 2024, file number 24-0084.00 with revisions dated August 27th, 2024, with the following conditions. Number one, if required by Monticello Township, access permits must be obtained prior to any construction activity commencing. And two, per the feedlot regulations, properties will be allowed 1 half-animal unit per acre and are limited to less than 10 animal units regardless of parcel size.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any other discussion? Is there any other discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same way. Motion carries.
Thank you again.
Yep, thank you.
You bet.
Good luck.
Okay, I think we'll back up to item number 2, and Donovan DeMarais, if you want to come up, give your name for the record, and we will hear yours.
Good evening, Donovan DeMarais.
All right, Barry, when you are ready.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, let me get back to where I was at. Property's 35.39 acres. It was just rezoned at the first August meeting. This is the 3-lot subdivision request based on the concept plan. Nothing within the concept plan has changed. Still the 3 lots as arranged, as you can see on your screen. All the soil borings, all the information has been gathered. All 3 lots meet the minimum requirements for the AR zoning district, which is 300 feet wide, at least on the road, at least 10 acres. We have satisfactory soil borings on all 3 lots. The township has responded, and they gave their approval as part of their zoning request in July, so we do have that. The drainage issues, according to some information that should be in your packet, has been more or less resolved or is being worked on by the township. That was referenced in their approval for parcel C. And then the highway department just had that same comment that access permits will be required from them for parcel A. So that's what I got.
All right, anything you would like to add?
Nope, that's a apt summary.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public that would like to comment on this matter? Anyone from the public? If not, we'll bring it back up here to the board. And does the board have any concerns with what's been presented?
I had a question, Mr. Chair. For Barry, did this not go back in front of the township with this application?
It didn't need to because they had approved it when they approved the rezoning.
Okay.
They approved the concept when they approved the rezoning.
Okay.
Chris isn't here just to confirm on the drainage piece.
We,
Okay.
we have the confirmation on record in email.
Yep, which was included.
Yeah.
It's in the email.
Yeah, I read it and might not interpret it quite as affirmatively as Paul did, but I don't have the person here to ask the question, so it's
Yeah,
okay.
Normally he is, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question of Barry.
Oh. Janice?
If I understand correctly, per the feedlot regulation, cattle and swine are prohibited, is that so?
Within 300 feet of any lake.
Okay. All livestock must be at least 300 feet from any lake. I guess it just doesn't really,
Oh. Well, and it's as per feedlot regulations, cattle and swine are prohibited. So yes, everything here is within lakeshore. So I guess I was thinking livestock in general, but yes, cattle and swine are prohibited within 1,000 feet of any lake.
so why is this?
Horses, goats, other things must be at least 300 feet from any lake. So
I
there's a
guess-
shoreland district, which is 1,000 feet. No swine or cattle within 1,000 feet, which covers this entire property. All other livestock is 300 feet.
I guess I'm a little confused how to word the approval or disapproval of this, because it says cattle and swine are prohibited. All livestock must be at least 300 feet from the lake. Properties will be allowed half animal per unit and are limited to less than 10 animals. units regardless of parcel size.
I would just go with all other livestock then, just add in other in between all livestock.
All other livestock. I'd like to have that added to the, if there's going to be a motion to approve.
Okay.
Would everybody agree to that? Do you need to make a motion on that?
Motion hasn't been
We
made
have
yet, so
no
nobody
motion
has to
on the
agree
floor.
on
it.
it.
We're still in discussion. Ken, did you have something?
No, I did not.
All right, are we, any other questions or ready for a motion?
Mr. Chair, I guess maybe for Member Bravender down there, the email exchange between Chris and Paul. Chris says, not sure that we're going to need anything or not. And then it goes cold, and this is like the first meeting in a year where neither one of those guys is here to ask. And so I don't know if you've got, in your township supervisor hat on, continuing concerns if you read what Chris has to say there about what they're doing or not, and whether you think we should address it or not.
Well, I mean, he said that, Chris said that in his letter that, that he recalls that it is a non-issue for this at this point. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, and if you go down, he says, I'm not sure if we will need additional drainage needs there or not at this time in the second sentence.
That would be up to the township, because the drainage would be on the ditches that he's talking about. If you remember when we were out there, they were actually in the middle of cleaning that ditch when we were out there. And I don't think they finished it yet, from what I understand. But he did, when we were in discussion with the building that was going on, it wasn't gonna add any more water to the drainage issue as to what it is now. So they're currently trying to take care of that right now in that lowland area, and that was by Lot C. So my interpretation is that, is that if there's a drainage issue, it'd be in the ditch, and that they would be having to clean that out to address that. That's usually how you have to address it, to get down to the culverts.
And if you read the minutes from the July 9th, they actually made two separate motions. The motion was made to approve the request, which was the rezoning, and then they made another motion, seconded, to approve the presented concept plan. So they actually made two motions at the bottom of their minutes on July 9th.
And that
They've
was
got
the-
a
That was their
motion.
planning commission, correct? Yeah.
And they also had a
Which
motion.
includes their board.
Oh,
They had a motion asking for an engineer's study for an assessment on the drainage too.
And there's no result on that yet, correct?
I don't think, I don't know that it was, I don't think there was an engineering study done,
Ordered?
at least that's been presented to us, but if I'm understanding,
That's where that conversation with Paul and Chris came in that email exchange.
yeah, right. If I'm understanding it right, though, Member Bravender,
yep.
you'd be comfortable at the township level that nothing we're doing tonight is going to compound a drainage problem that already exists. We might not be solving anything, but status quo in terms of drainage for our approval would be okay with you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I'm a little confused by the way this motion is worded in the minutes. Because it says, motion was made by Supervisor Guyan to approve the request, second by Supervisor Hellman, but asking for an engineer's study for an assessment on drainage for the existing property. Is that part of the motion or not? The way it's worded, is that part of the motion? And so, is this assessment to be done by us, by the county?
There were
No.
two motions there at the end.
Yep.
It's crazy.
But they approved the presented concept plan, the second motion.
You're still looking at the water problem down there is
Yep.
still a township ditch
Yep.
issue.
That's a township issue.
I mean, that's,
Yep.
it's on the township to make that decision whether, you know, they need to clean ditches out, clean culverts, replace culverts, and that type of thing.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions or concerns, thoughts? If not, is somebody prepared to make a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'm prepared to make a motion.
Ken?
I move to approve a conditional use permit for a 3-lot unplatted subdivision in accord with the survey completed by Otto Associates, signed and dated 8/19/2024, file number 24-0288, with the following conditions. An access permit must be applied for and obtained from the Wright County Highway Department prior to any construction activity commencing on parcel A, and from the township, if required, for parcel C. Per the feedlot regulations, cattle and swine are prohibited. All other livestock must be at least 300 feet from any lake. Properties will be allowed 1/2 animal unit per acre and are limited to less than 10 animal units regardless of parcel size.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any other discussion? If there's no other discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same way. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, number 4 on the agenda tonight is Cole Shake. You want to come up and give your name, please, for the record?
Good evening, Cole Shake.
All right, Barry, when you are ready.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The property is a 4.37 acre parcel located on the southwest corner of 25th Street Northeast and State Highway 25 in Rockford Township. It has one entitlement to build a house, which currently there is none. There is an existing accessory building, 6,660 square feet. And also a CUP for a cell tower that is located on the property, as you can see on the aerial circled. That is a cell tower that was previously granted in 2011. This request is for a non-commercial contractor's yard for a tree service company. The narrative from the applicant is in your packet. The applicant is a potential buyer of the property. He does have a plan to construct a roughly 840 square foot dwelling within the existing pole barn. As the commission remembers, non-commercial contractors' yards require a dwelling, require the business owner to live on the property, and require the property to be homesteaded. And so that'll all be required as part of this, otherwise the application couldn't occur. As part of this request, the applicant's also looking for a roughly 50 by 60 area for exterior storage, which is noted on the aerial on the right on the attached plan. We do have just a rough sketch of the potential living area or proposed living area, which is roughly 24 by 35, which would meet our minimum requirements for a dwelling. The rest of that existing building would be used for shop area and other storage within for the business itself. The applicant has not met with the township, so we do not have a township response. The Soil and Water Conservation District did respond, just indicating that there are wetlands on the property and that zero fill or drainage is allowed within those wetland areas. I do not have that in the PowerPoint, but a view of those wetlands are in your packet.
Okay. Thank you, Barry. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Nope.
Okay. Is there anyone in the public that would like to comment on this matter? Anyone from the public? If not, we'll bring it back up here, and I guess, how would the board like to proceed? As Barry said, the applicant hasn't met with the township. Do we want to?
I think we need to continue it till he meets with the township.
I'd second that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did the commission want to have any discussion before you make that
Do you want
motion?
to have any discussion before, any questions, or just
I
want to wait
don't,
until?
I don't have any questions at this point, but I may after the township brings their comments.
Okay, along with that being I would ask the question, do we want to do any type of a site inspection? Do we want to
Yes,
see the property?
I think
I mean, if we're going to continue it, I would think it would be the right thing to do is to do the site inspection
Yep.
along with that motion, if it was to be made.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to continue this for a site inspection and for for the applicant to meet with Rockford Township.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
No.
No more discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same way. Motion carries. So, are you on the township board's
Yeah,
agenda?
October 1st is my meeting with the township.
And then at the end of this meeting, we'll set a date and a time as to when we'll come out to look at the property.
Okay,
And if there's anything you want to point out to us, or if you can be there to
yeah, absolutely.
show us around, or what your intentions are and what you're looking at doing,
Yep,
would be helpful.
all right.
So, and if you don't want to stick around, you can just call the office in the morning,
Okay.
and they'll tell you when we'll be coming out for site inspection.
All righty, perfect, thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just add, I'm the current owner of the property. Could I ask a question?
I guess ask it to Barry right now.
Oh, I wanted to know, like, the timing of, we're trying to close on the property, so I'm just wondering about the timing of
Nothing will get decided until at least October 10th. That's the soonest.
We have to come back to another planning committee.
Yes, on October 10th, we'll go out to the property sometime between now and October 10th, and then you'll have to come back on October 10th, and then they'll decide whether or not they're going to approve it. If not, it would be even longer, but we won't know that until October 10th.
Is there a reason why that wouldn't get approved? I mean, I know the township needs to weigh in on it, but is there something in the current plan that would cause it to not get approved?
We haven't had that discussion yet. That's not up to me. That's up to those 7 members. If there's any number of things that they might have concerns with, that'll be part of the discussion. There might be conditions that get on the approval. They could certainly deny it. Won't know that until it gets further into that discussion.
Might go on here.
All right, I will ask again for Robin Reese. If not, can I have a motion to continue it until
Well,
next
there
meeting?
again, Mr. Chairman, as with a rezoning request, we're gonna be going out on a site inspection anyways. Does the commission want to visit the site as part of, since we're continuing it, if you don't site inspect it now, they come to the next meeting, now you wanna site inspect it, now we're another month down the road. So if there's a site inspection that even you have a inkling of wanting to do, schedule it now, so we're not pushing this matter off another month when we get to October. So that's one of these, we knew they weren't gonna get to the township. And when I talked to the applicants, I advised them to still come so there could be some discussion. Apparently they either didn't or they forgot, because same type of thing, we can at least get some discussion in and then do this, if we wanted a site inspection, we can do it without them here. If you want to do a site inspection, now's the time to schedule it.
Okay. I would like to make a motion to continue this meeting to the next, this item until the next meeting. And in the meantime, make a site inspection to view the property and answer any questions visually that we might have.
Right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'd second it. I'd ask that staff reach out to the applicant to confirm that things are still going ahead so that we're not driving out for no reason.
That'll be done first thing in the morning.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I would like the date put in that motion, not just simply the next meeting, but specify October 10th.
October 10th, yes.
All right. Any other discussion? If there's no other discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same way. Motion carries. All right. Now we are down to setting for site inspection. There's nothing else on our agenda. Or Barry, do we have anything else first before we set a site inspection?
Just a comment that apparently we just tell Greg to never come.
Second.
It was 8:15 at the last meeting, it's currently 7:55.
Second.
We're doing well.
Doing well, indeed.
Yeah, so what do you all want for dates?
Do you remember when we had a Board of Adjustments site inspection? Because that's in October too.
You want me to look?
The 11th, I think the 11th. I think you did it
I can get
Sounds
Aaron's
familiar.
calendar.
11th. Oh, wait, I have it right here. I might be away with it right here.
Well, your next Board of Adjustment is the 4th.
No, the site inspection is the 11th.
Yeah, because we pushed it off until the next month. That item.
October 11th is the
Okay.
site inspection.
Okay. All right, when do we have time? For me, October is better.
Me too.
Get it pushed a little bit further in. Our next meeting is on the 10th, so the 7th, the 8th, somewhere's in there. Does that work?
I have
Monday or
a
Tuesday?
program on the 10th, so if I'm here, I'm gonna be 7:30 or later. Just so that you know that
We
for a
will,
quorum.
we will welcome you when you show.
Okay.
I'm pretty much good up until the meeting on the 10th, for October. I'm out all the end of next week, so.
7th or the
Not that
8th.
I'm needed, I can have Josh or Scott do the site inspection too, but just, for me, October works better if I'm gonna be the one driving.
Wednesday mornings are bad for me.
So I'm still looking at 7th or 8th as a Monday or Tuesday.
7th?
7th?
8th.
Pat? Does that work? Relatively?
In the morning?
Yeah.
The 7th works much better for me. Anytime it's a Tuesday, county board workshops or county board meetings.
Ken?
So I'm tough on Tuesday mornings.
I'd prefer 8th or 9th, but 7th will work.
I think we can have a quorum at 7th, but
Well, the 8th would be a county board meeting. Yes?
Yes, the 8th is county board. That's actually county board workshop, but
So Jeannie would not be available.
I potentially would or would not, but like I say, I got staff that can do the site inspection. So you guys pick the days that work for you.
Time on the 7th.
Our staff will make it work.
What time on the 7th?
normal time, 8:30, sooner the better for me.
I'd say 8
Be
o'clock.
later.
Okay, October 7th, 8:30.
You didn't answer my question. Could
What?
it be later than 7:30 or 8?
8:30?
Could it be later than that? Could it be 9?
9?
I can make that work if we're back.
Yeah, that's fine.
We can make it work.
Okay.
Makes things miserable for me, but I can make it work.
Yeah.
Well,
That's okay.
a quarter till. We'll compromise.
No, either 8:30 or 9. So if you want it at 9, we'll do it at 9. That work for everybody else?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, 9 o'clock.
think we'll be back by noon.
Oh, yes.
Okay, because I have a meeting then.
9 o'clock
Whoever's
courthouse.
driving will drive fast for us.
So we're meeting here at 8:30?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
9
Bus
o'clock.
leaves at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay, then.
Is there anything else any of the members want of staff before you close the meeting?
Yeah, there, I see you
Oh.
put a new calendar in.
Yes,
Is
we did.
there
We
Anything
need
with
to
that that
approve
is
it.
alarming or?
It's, we tried to follow roughly what we had this year because it seems that things have evened out a bit as far as applications. We're not getting 10, 12 item agendas, but yet I don't necessarily want to remove a meeting. I'd rather stick status quo, and if we have to cancel a meeting at some point, we certainly could. With trying to coordinate Board of Adjustment, Planning Commission, and the Monticello Overlay Annexation Area meetings, it's tough to try to figure everything out. And so we have kind of a general schedule that works pretty well. We try to keep those summer meetings 3 weeks apart, because that is usually when we get really busy, usually like into February, March, April, when we get a lot of the gravel pit renewals. We tend to be really busy then, and then summer, depending on what's going on and how the market is, we can stay busy. Usually this time of year into the fall, it's been a little bit less. So that's why we lengthen them out, and then with holidays in November, December, it's hard to fit more than one meeting in those months. Same with,
Can you clarify for me which meetings are at 6:30 and which ones are at 7:30?
November, December, January, February, and March are 6:30.
No, and April. On
And-
this calendar, you have it starting November 1st and ending April 30th would be at 6:30 PM
Oh,
start.
I didn't see it's on the bottom. Okay.
That's what was set for this year. There again, those times are gonna be up for, and the calendar itself are gonna be up for the commission to decide on January 1, or first meeting in January.
Okay.
Can't remember what the date is. But as long as there isn't anything that screams on those dates, I know there's gonna be meetings where somebody can't make it or they can. That's just the way it is. We're just trying to figure, that's kind of the best for us is the way we have it laid out.
So November this year will start at 6:30?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess, being we have time, would there be just something to throw out there? Would there be something where the board would like a workshop sometime this winter and ask of the office, to go through some of the things about rezoning and what we're doing in the planning of Wright County and how it looks going forward? I guess any other things that the board might have questions on? I'm just throwing it out there because we haven't had a
I've been
workshop
asking
in a
for
long
it.
time.
I think it would be good to have a meeting about possibly updating the quadrant plan, 4-quadrant plan.
Ultimately, that's not up to me,
Who's that up to?
county board, and they've had that discussion through the budget process. And they did not put any money into the budget in 2025.
Can we discuss it though at a workshop or
We
not?
we can discuss it, but ultimately it's up to the county board whether or not they're gonna pay for it.
So maybe the county board should have a meeting then.
They did have the meeting.
I mean, with us.
But I guess we just haven't had one, and is that something that this
We
board
can
would like?
certainly put that on
And put
as a,
something type of a workshop, and if there's anything a board member has got that they would like discussed or thought about, give it to staff. Staff can maybe put it on together on agenda, look at it over the next meeting or two. I mean, I'm talking something like maybe January, February, this winter, so I know there's different times. Yeah, I've got that. I guess, how does the board feel there? Would we like to ask staff to do that?
Well, I think that this flyer would be something interesting that we could all watch on our own, and then have a meeting to discuss the things that we see that have come up on there that maybe we aren't doing.
Well, that's part of what I'm saying,
Yes,
just
and
have,
I'm agreeing
make some
with you.
notes or whatever.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you 100%. It's a good thing to do.
So, I guess if everybody's in agreement, maybe staff can kind of look at that for January, February. And if there's,
we have a base of a program that we did for townships. We just called it Planning and Zoning 101. We can pare that down to more specific things and expand it with the roles of the planning commission itself. If that's something that we want to do, I mean, we can include the Board of Adjustment in that as well, and then just hit them both at kind of one time. That way we have our offices, public boards together for kind of honestly, just a talk session, if nothing else, just to see the differences between the two. I mean, Dan, you see it because you're on both, but to get an understanding of what each other board does is never a bad thing either.
Yeah. I think it would be good.
I
But
agree. I
It's a
agree.
matter if the rest of the board does,
Yep.
so. I don't think we need a motion, but do we have a consensus to ask then? staff
Oh,
to put
yeah,
something
you've
together?
given me that.
Okay,
So we'll have a planners meeting with my staff, so that'll include our, Aaron from that staff's the Board of Adjustment, Josh, myself, and Scott, who is now the Assistant Zoning Administrator. And I'll probably throw Tracy into that because there's feedlot implications on both of these boards. And come up with kind of an agenda and some, slides and PowerPoints we can go through and hit high points on, general duties of the planning commission and, some of the criteria that are out there to look at and maybe implications of decisions too. Things where maybe things worked out really well and maybe instances where things haven't worked out as well and maybe consider, talk about, potential conditions that we can set and different ways to look at it. I mean, from staff's point of view, we do our best to think about, how different uses and different things impact the county and neighbors and those types of things. But there's other views of that too that maybe don't get brought up or maybe that you have that we can start incorporating into things.
okay,
The meeting is still open, Mr. Chairman.
yep, meeting is still open. Robin Brees? Rosé? Okay. We have already continued for a site inspection of your property, but if you want to come up and kind of give us an overview of what you're looking for. And we can go from there.
Road construction around here is fun.
Yes. If you want to give your name for the record, and then I'll have Barry get us up to speed.
My name is Robin Brzee,
Right? Barry-
and,
Barry will get us up, then I'll come back to you.
okay,
Yes, Mr. Chairman, so this property is part of the Lenore Johnson estate. There's a couple of different parcels here. We're only highlighting the one. It's 23.08 acres. It's along 142nd Street on Lock Lake in Silver Creek Township. The request here is to rezone the portion of the property north of 142nd Street, so between 142nd Street and the lake, from general agriculture to R1. They are both in the S2 Recreational Shoreland Overlay District, so the rezoning would be to R1 S2, and then propose a 2-lot subdivision. Both proposed lots that we have would meet minimum requirements for the R1 district. So the land use plan does have that portion of the property north of 142nd Street as R1 residential. It is currently, as you can see here, kind of the only property along this shore of the lake that is not currently zoned. There is one small back lot that is still zoned general agriculture, but if I'm not mistaken, that might be part of, attached to a part of a lake shore lot. I did not put it in here, so just give me 1 second. As noted, the applicant has not met with the township yet. They are on the township's calendar to do that. It just hasn't happened yet. Just give me just 1 second. I did forget, unfortunately, to include that concept plan. We do have it. I just forgot to include it. So in this case, the request will be to rezone just what is shown here as lots 1 and 2. Lot 3 would remain just an unplatted agricultural restricted lot.
that's correct.
The lots 1 and 2, since they are less than 5 acres, will require platting. It is a simple plat, doesn't require any new roads, and it's less than 3 lots, or less than 4 lots. So it would be a simple plat, which would, excuse me, follow the rezoning request. We haven't received any other comments from any neighbors on this particular one, so we're just waiting for the township's review.
So this will not be approved at the county level until it's approved at the township level, is that correct?
That's correct.
Well, let me clarify, kind of. Our commission relies heavily on comments from the township. They're not required, the township isn't required to approve it, and our commission isn't required to follow the recommendation of the township. But there's language in statute that says planning commissions and boards of adjustment must take into consideration comments made by a township. Our boards take that a step further and say, we want them before we rule. And so they want to see the comments from the township because this directly affects the township as much as it does the county. So for this request, for the rezoning portion, the township, you'll meet with the township will give a recommendation. This board will then give a recommendation to the county board, which on rezonings, it's the county board's jurisdiction to make the decision. So what comes out of this board is actually a recommendation to the county board,
Okay.
which then approves the rezoning. Once that, theoretically, all of this gets approved at each of those levels, then you can apply to divide it. So there'd be another application and another hearing that will be needed beyond this portion of it.
Okay.
And that's with all rezonings and subdivisions.
Okay.
It's a two-step process.
We totally understand why my great-grandma never divided it and why my mother never divided it and why my grandmother never divided it, because there's a lot of hoops to jump through here. So for this purpose right now, the concept plan is acceptable and we go to the township and then they recommend back to you. That's how I'm understanding this, right?
No,
No?
no, the concept plan hasn't even been discussed yet.
Oh, okay.
We have it, and it's generally meets the minimum requirements, but whether or not the rezoning can happen is still the piece that's yet to be decided.
Okay.
So there's been no decision yet on anything. It's acceptable from a standpoint of it meets the minimum requirements, otherwise we would make you change it before we even got to this step.
Okay. Okay. All right, I am understanding.
And so the commission has they've decided that they're going to continue it to October, so you'll have to come back on October 10th. And we've set a site inspection date to go out and visit the property on, what's the date, Cheryl? October 7th. And give Josh in my office a call in the morning. We will have the route set, because we're actually visiting two properties, so I'll set times that we will be at the site.
Okay, so October 10th back here
Yep,
at 7:30 again?
yes.
Okay.
And then on October 7th, we will be driving to the property.
Do I need to be there for that?
Recommended that somebody that can speak to what you're trying to do be at the property.
What day of the week is the 7th? I'm sorry.
Monday.
It's a Monday? Okay. A time, you said?
It's going to be sometime after 9 o'clock. I don't know yet. I haven't set a route and a time yet. I haven't had that chance to do that. I usually do that tomorrow morning. I'll set a time that we'll be at your site, and then I'll set a time that we'll be at the other site. I don't know yet. I have to,
And
my brain isn't ready to wrap around my route yet.
how will I be notified so that I could be there?
Well, I can have Josh give you a call.
Okay.
You'll get mailed notice.
And we do provide a mail.
And a mail notice also? Okay.
I always
Okay.
forget that we do that because I don't touch it. You stamp my name on it.
You send it, Barry.
And go to the
I never-
township meeting whenever that is scheduled.
I believe that's the first Tuesday of October, so,
First.
Whenever it is, just make sure you're there at that one, because if we don't get their feedback, we're gonna do the same thing again next
Right.
month and say, go to the township.
yeah, yeah.
And you probably have to call and get on their agenda.
Well, I know that we are on the agenda for the next one. I'm just not 100% sure when that is.
Okay.
My sister Lori, who is the executor of the estate, she's out of town right now, so she recommended that I kind of come because this portion, lot 1 here is coming to me once we get all this.
The email we
Resolved.
got today says the item is on for October 1st at the township.
It is October 1, okay,
Yep.
okay.
I do not know the time of that, but I do know you're on there for October 1st, so you can just reach out to the township. They'll tell you when.
Yeah, I'm sure that my sister has that all written down. I just don't at the moment, so, okay. Anything else that you need from me?
I don't think so. We're already continued it. We're just talking about it.
I made a motion to continue, or somebody made a motion to continue.
You probably
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
go
we had
back
a
and
motion to
add that she
continue.
spoke.
I'll figure it out.
So when is the next meeting of this is on the 10th? When is the other one? Do I have to go to that too?
The county commissioner?
Yeah,
No, once we get a ruling or a recommendation from the planning commission, we put it on the next available date with the county board.
okay.
I,
And do I have to go to that meeting?
no,
Okay,
They don't let you talk anyways if you go to those.
right, this is the
Okay.
public.
We build the record here. The public gets to come, you get to come, we talk. What we say and do gets sent up to them, and they're very busy and very important. So they go based on the record rather than redoing it for a third time.
little sarcasm there?
Little truth.
Not out of me.
So looking at dates, unless they move some dates around, it's likely gonna be November 5th. It'll either be October 29th or November 5th, provided this commission makes a recommendation on the 10th.
Okay,
They require us to get information to them about 6.5 days in advance of their next meeting. And their next meeting, I wouldn't have the time to do that.
okay.
So it would then be the meeting after that, which would be the first Tuesday in November.
And now my understanding
Election
is,
day, they might not even have a meeting that day. Dang it.
We will let you know when it goes.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
one final question. My understanding is that at some point in this process, we have to have the final survey done. Is that before the meeting on the 10th?
No, we will run through that process with you once we get done with this rezoning portion.
Okay,
And there again, that's even a two-stage piece with plat. It's not just a survey. In this case, there will need to be a preliminary plat, and then if that gets approved, then there's a final plat that is a completely different process that doesn't require public hearings, but it's more intricate, needs a lot more survey work. Talking with your sisters, you're aware of the platting process, or at least you've made the survey aware, so you should have that information, but
yes, okay.
plats are a time-consuming process when you have rezonings in front of them.
Yeah, so, okay.
All right.
Anything else you need from me?
Nope.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I think we're done. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Motion made and seconded. We're done. Thank you.